My name is Jerry Wise. I'm the director of the Center for Self-Differentiation in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm fortunate enough to be down here in Miami South Beach for a little working vacation. And today's video is entitled Adult Children of Alcoholics, Why Am I Always Stuck in the Past Over and Over Again? Having worked with adult children of alcoholics for, say, 36 years or so, and studied up and have been an expert on this subject, being trained in chemical dependency, family therapy, and learning about the syndrome of ACOA, or as some call it ACA, Adult Children of Alcoholics, Adult Child of an Alcoholic, that one of the things I found is that ACOAs tend to struggle with a continual reliving of the past trauma, dysfunctions, pains, wounds in their adult life over and over and over again, and they don't get out of that pattern. And again, something very important, if you learn nothing else from this video today, please remember, if you're stuck in your life or find yourself just recycling and going over and over with the same problems, it's because you are stuck in your past. And oftentimes, parents have gotten stuck, and one of the rules of family systems is whatever your parents don't resolve, they pass on to you for you to resolve emotionally. So we get stuck in that. Then we pass that on to our children to resolve emotionally. So the best way to change that cycle is to change us. So what do I mean by being stuck in the past? Well, there's a great quote by Leon Uris in his work Trinity, and he writes, "For you see, in Ireland, there is no future, only the past happening over and over." And that's my point about ACAs. For you see, for ACAs and ACOAs, there is no future, only the past happening over and over. When I say stuck in the past, when I talk about being stuck in the present, I mean repeating bad and toxic relationships over and over again. Some say I've dated the same guy 13 times, all with different names. We marry the same wife after 3 marriages. We stay stuck in our career and our jobs, and always seem to find the company that functions like an alcoholic family. We keep meeting and having problems with the same types of friends. They start out great, and then their overwhelming problems surface, and then we have more difficulties with our relationships. We might have repeated depressions or anxiety episodes. We certainly have strained, conflicted, even toxic relationships with our family of origin, and it tends to change for the worse. Often, if it's going to change, it tends to get worse as we get older, or certainly it will go up and down, and it will be a roller coaster with our family of origin. Well, for those 2 years, my parents and I never talked. For these 2 years, we got along a little better, but there was a lot of conflict. Then I moved away from my family again, and then for those 2 years, we didn't talk, and we kind of go through that pendulum, the pendulum experience. ACAs and ACOAs have the pendulum problem. Or we'll join 5 churches, but each time they would turn out to be like my first church that I was in. We keep trying to find something new, and it always seems to turn out to be the same. Well, what's the common denominator? Me. And it's my issues, and ACOAs bring those issues to their life. You're in a marriage that started out great, it appeared, and we really loved each other, and we got along, and we were in the honeymoon phase. Then it begins to have problems, and these recycling problems happening over and over again, and with no resolution. because we only know option A or option B, because our ACOA blindness that we have in seeing what's going on, rather than option C, D, E, F, and G. And we certainly don't think there's any other choices between enmeshment and just going along and being and falling down and just accepting the way it is, or cut off and divorce. Those are the only two choices we tend to see. ACOAs do not have the greater options in their painting palette to choose from to paint their life with. Let me talk about Suzanne and Brian. Suzanne is an ACOA. She's also an adult child of narcissistic parents. And by the way, even if an alcoholic is not purely a narcissistic personality disorder, they still suffer from narcissism due to their addiction. So they can seem very similar. Suzanne marries Brian because he does not drink. So Suzanne believes she's missing that bullet, and so she is free and clear because I didn't marry an alcoholic. Unfortunately, no. Brian is a self-focused narcissist, not an alcoholic, but religiously addicted in a narcissistic way. He is emotionally frozen, critical, but can be charming and attentive to Suzanne at times. Again, often when it serves his purposes. They have 2 children, which really cement them together as a couple. Brian, of course, sees Suzanne as the problem. Brian would say, well, if she would only just accept me as I am and go along with kind of what, because I kind of know better, and if she would just do what I think we should do and stop trying to change me or whine or complain all the time about her needs not being met or that she's unhappy in the relationship. I get so tired of having the same argument with her over and over and over again. She needs to be more like a man in this marriage. Stop complaining. Stop feeling so much. Be happy to have a house and kids and a man who doesn't cheat, who looks good to the outside world. Suzanne sees no connection between her 6-year marriage with Brian. She does not see how her current unhappiness connects with her past. And as a result, she may get so fed up, she just divorces him only to find another Brian again. Or Brian may get just so fed up he can't take it, but then he finds another Suzanne again. Because the problem is on the inside, and we're reliving our alcoholic home inside of us, and those issues aren't resolved. Brian suffers with being self-absorbed. He has abandonment issues. He's been traumatized when he grew up. His dad was very strict, successful, but just pretty critical, strict, kind of narcissistic. And so Brian learned to cut off from all of his real needs and feelings, and has very little empathy for others because he doesn't know how to do that. He wasn't given that growing up. So he can't hear Suzanne in a very empathetic way. He doesn't know how. He just wishes she would not complain or just be happy. Whereas Suzanne overfeels, much like her childhood. She underfeels, or Brian underfeels, much like his childhood. Neither Brian nor Suzanne have any idea how they're reliving their past in this present marriage. We take the zoom and see them in their marriage, and we widen it out to include our family of origin and the past. And that's where it becomes a much better map to work with to know how to address and change it. By the way, Suzanne is kind of the symptom bearer of the relationship. She's the one who has the problem. The whole relationship's hurting, but she's the one with the problem. She's the identified patient, we might say, in family systems and theory work. Much like a couple who has a horrible marriage and their teenager goes out and shoplifts. Their teenager has bad grades at school. Well, who's the problem? Who does everybody think the problem is? the teenager. The teenager's not the problem. The teenager is acting out the pain of the family, which nobody's talking about, nobody's resolving, nobody's doing anything about it. So somebody's going to feel, somebody's going to be the symptom bearer, we would call. Brian has no clue what to do and just wants peace, just like his father did. He wanted his or her mother to just stop complaining and stop worrying about things, and I just want peace. And just like he felt as a kid, those patterns get relived over and over intergenerationally. This is one example of stuckness, or the past being relived over and over. They don't see the way out. They're playing roles they played growing up in their family of origin. They're having to try to resolve issues their parents left unresolved. Their family of origin in them is pulling the strings emotionally in their behavior. They don't see that that's happening. They wrongly believe doing more of the same or working harder with the same paradigm or the wrong paradigm will result in better outcome. No, it just results in more of the same, even if you work harder at it. If you have a screw, it won't go in as easily if you use a hammer. Not even if you hammer it harder, it's still not going to go in right. What you need is a new paradigm, and use a screwdriver. That will get it in, rather than using the same old paradigm in the wrong way. And again, doing more of the same is getting angrier, getting louder, more hurt, more poor me, more victim mode, more worry, more controlling, more demandedness, and somehow the couple feels those will help change the system or the marriage. ACOAs didn't get the memo. We are still stuck in having empty buckets waiting for someone to fill them up. Anybody, if they'll fill them up. ACOAs live on first base waiting for a home run. So what do I do as an ACOA? I need to first of all make some emotional and systems connections with your family of origin. I don't mean by that go interact with them more. I mean by that go learn about how your family operated and how it operates now. That's connecting with family systems. Learn the family of origin lay of the land. How did your family of origin operate when you were growing up? How does it operate now? Learn about family systems approach to family of origin and current relationships, your marriages, your friendships. There's some good books by Harriet Lerner, Jenny Brown, Andrea Shera, and if you send me an email to this email address on the screen, I'd be happy to send you a listing of those resources. Secondly, make connections to yourself. Get the family of origin out of you work. We do some work that gets the family of origin out of you. Do inner child work. And again, I can explain more about that if you work with me, or you can look it up online. Learn your feelings, to identify and express those feelings. Learn your boundaries. Become more self-differentiated. And there's a whole bunch of videos I have on YouTube, probably 130 or so videos, and look up self-differentiation. Take back your power work is very important. Heal your trauma or PTSD from growing up in an alcoholic home. Do that work. As ACOA, resolve your conflicts. ACOAs are often in conflict inside of them. They have a come close, stay away paradox and conflict. They have love me, don't love me paradox inside. Or love me, but I'm not worth loving. And that message, both messages are being sent out. They have an I love you, I can't stand you message that gets put out because of their inner conflict. And the communicate with me, but I don't know how to be heard, and I really don't believe anybody can communicate with me. Those kinds of conflicts makes for relationship problems. Lastly, make connections with support. Find an ACOA or ACA recovery group in your area. They're all over the country, all over the world. Find a therapist or family systems coach who understands your issues. Find like-minded friends who are wanting to grow and are open about their issues. Find healthier churches who will support you as a recovering person, not churches or pastors who are extremely legalistic or churches that are authoritarian. Again, you don't want to go to a church that's just much like an alcoholic family. Same way with jobs, same way with clubs. If you want more help with your recovery from a life of repeating your past, from feeling and experiencing the same problems over and over again, or you feel stuck in your ACOA recovery, contact me. My information's on the screen. I do Skype and FaceTime sessions with people all over the United States, all over the world. Join our YouTube channel on YouTube. I want to thank you for watching today. Whether you live in Miami, or LA, or New York, Dubai, Scotland, or Canada, or any place where you speak English, give me a call and you can get the best help that's available for the specific problems that you have. And I want to thank you very much today for watching. And have a great day.